What's good? What's good? What's good?
It's good,
Welcome back
y'all.
to another episode of Over the Counter Podcast. We are the Good Brothers of OTC.
Mhm.
We actually got a full docket this week. Topics is still kind of light for the most part, but it's still a full docket. So we're gonna get into it, man. We got a new SEC chairman confirmed literally a couple days ago. Want to get into Wall Street 2.0. We're gonna get into some market updates around Tesla missing earnings. I'm still shocked about that.
Crazy.
We got gold updates. We got tokenized gold. We're gonna get into a little bit of what that is and why it's seen some popularity as of late. And then yeah, that's pretty much what the show is gonna be like for today. So kicking it off, man. The new SEC chairman, Paul Atkins, got confirmed just a few days ago, if not yesterday. My days are kind of off. But this is huge news for the crypto space and the markets as in general. Paul Atkins has been known to be pro crypto. He's definitely part of the reason, I'm sure, as to why the SEC's kind of backed off on its approach to regulation by enforcement on the crypto industry. And it's looking good. It's looking good. At this point, now that we got a new SEC chairman, I think we got all the key players in position to really make this thing take off. Um, we're gonna see though, because we thought Gary Gensler was pro crypto because he taught a class at MIT, and we quickly found out that that was not indeed the case. He was a op for sure. So let's hope Paul Atkins ain't the same thing, just a different bottle, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, on a brighter note, when we talking about stuff like him finally getting, put into place officially, it made me put into perspective that it seems all doom and gloom right now, but we're still extremely early on in this 4-year cycle with the Trump administration. So I mean, we just got to let things play out. We got to let things settle. Now there's talks of maybe things being a potential deal with China on the way. There's supposed to be him and China. I don't even know how to say his name, Xi Jinping or whatever it is.
Yeah,
They're supposed to meet in May. So hopefully we can get some traction there. But in regards to the whole crypto and a lot of other things, because he hasn't even got to deregulation yet, tax
mhm.
cuts. There's a lot of things he hasn't really gotten to yet. So on a broader side, you know, kind of just looking towards the future and things settling out.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree. I mean, from what I'm hearing, it's definitely a lot of movement, a lot of momentum behind some of these pieces of legislation that is trying to get passed. I got a feeling a stablecoin bill is right around the corner. I know I said that last pod, but some certain things they happen slowly till they don't, and like you might forget about it, and then out of nowhere you'll see some legislation being passed. So I definitely got a feeling something like that related to a stablecoin is coming. And the SEC chairman don't necessarily have anything to do with that, but I'm just sensing an overall sentiment change. You had the comptroller talk about comptroller of the currency talking about banks can actually um, participate in crypto activities as long as they are using proper risk management practices and stuff like that. So you're definitely sensing a bit of a push to encourage financial institutions to participate more so in crypto. We talked about how Fidelity is, announcing, releasing their own stablecoin. Not Bank of Oklahoma, Bank of America also made a similar announcement. You got a lot of stuff going on. So, you also saw the last administration's ruling against DeFi platforms essentially needing to be broker dealers and have all this paperwork and all of this data on who they're dealing with in terms of customers, this disclosures and stuff, which really made doing business as a DeFi platform next to impossible because of the administrative overhead. And the fact that that got overturned, I mean, bro, this is probably the most crypto pro crypto environment that I've seen ever. So
Sure.
more to come for sure. Definitely gonna have to let this cook for a little bit and see how things come out.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin running up, some positive news, at least on the crypto side of things.
Yeah.
could afford to.
because the stock market. Hey, I'm gonna say this: I made money off the Dow today, so I'm happy about that on the way down.
Mhm.
Um, a good little 14% on the day. I'm good with that. I can't complain about that. Profit is profit. But yeah, for the most part, man, it ain't looking good over there. So let's kind of get into that, especially with Tesla missing the earnings.
So I'll say with Tesla, it's so weird. It's so weird because this is the second time I've seen this happen. Q4, they I think they beat, I don't know if they did a double or triple beat, but there were some things that underperformed in the last earnings. The stock rally. This time they completely missed. And I'm looking at it right now, closed up 4.6%. And then after hours, they're up an additional 5.39%. Makes no sense in the world. And that brings me to one of the topics I want to talk about is, my two of the biggest disappointments to me in the stock market for this year would have to be Tesla, of course. They're down bigger than anybody else in the NASDAQ. And AMD, another one that's down bad. But we'll stick to Tesla right now. They had earnings today, and let's just go over some of the highlights. So revenue, they came in at 19.3 billion, a 9% decrease year over year, falling short of Wall Street's expectations of 21.3 billion. So they had a miss there. Net income came in at 409 million, a 71% drop from the previous year. That's in the stock
Y'all moving like the crypto market, bro.
and the stock is still rallying. Earnings per share came in at 27 cents, below estimates of 43 cents. Operating income 399 million, a 66% decline year over year. Free cash flow came in at 664 million, marking a 126% increase from the same quarter last year. So that was okay. And then cash reserves, 37 billion in cash equivalents, and investments. But when you pay attention to that net income, that earnings per share and the operating income, 71% drop on the net income from the previous year. Earnings per share came in under 27 cents, and operating income a 66% decline year over year. Is Elon Musk regretting putting so much emphasis, one, on Doge and politicizing his company, his baby, and two, did he also make another massive mistake in, not putting that energy into his company, especially when he was already, back up against the wall over there in the China market with BYD?
I mean, I don't know, man. I really don't know what these some of these billionaires be thinking. And what obviously we don't know what's said behind closed doors, but I mean, Elon really ain't moving like this. This has hurt him as much as you would think. Like I would think, bam, it's like sink or swim time type thing. But
Because you gotta
um,
think. I vividly remember over the last 4.5 years before he was affiliated with Doge and Trump and all of that kind of stuff. The to politicize your company and make it a political thing where people are taking a stance against your company. I would go on a limb to say majority of the people that probably supported Tesla were probably Democrats.
oh yeah, of course,
People who care about the earth, emissions, and all of that kind of stuff.
yeah.
So you turn off your one of your biggest customer bases in the United States. You're losing massive market share over there in China. BYD is producing better cars for cheaper. Then you add tariffs. You have other countries like Canada and all these other places putting tariffs on your cars up to 100%. And you missed with the Cybertruck, came in much more expensive than it was supposed to be. So that's a miss. It's too expensive for majority of the people that wanted it. The Model Y, people were excited about it, but didn't really do much. You're not really innovating with your cars. People were waiting on the cheaper model that was supposed to come out at like I think it's like 25K or something like that. That hasn't, come to fruition. So you're not focused on your company, and it's showing up in the numbers. And now it's to the point we talked about, should he step down before? And he's saying he's going to put more time into Tesla, but he's still not saying that he's going to step away from those. Can only be so many places at once.
I mean, yeah, but like he already before Doge, he already ran multiple companies, which was already unheard of. I mean, he had X, he had SpaceX, you
Starlink,
got Starlink, you got Tesla. That's a lot. That's
yeah,
a lot. But this is my thing. If what we're saying about his main base is true, being Democrat, what changed? So to me, that's telling me you only invested in Tesla, or you only valued Tesla when he was considered aligned with the democratic ways. That to me is kind of like a ass backwards way of investing. Like I'm not investing in companies or cryptos because whoever's behind them is Republican or
yeah,
Democrat or whatever. Like I could care less what your political affiliation is. Are you or are you not making me money? Are you or are you not one of those innovative companies? And can I see you going a certain place that these other ones may not be able to go? If I'm able to check off those boxes as an investor, I'm still investing regardless of what Elon is doing. Like I feel like that's an emotional take on where my dollars go from an investment standpoint because nothing changed fundamentally.
yeah. But we talked about this before as well. A lot of people invest emotionally. If people want to hurt Elon Musk, that's a surefire way to do it, is to take a stance against the company, not buy the cars, vandalizing the cars, the Tesla dealerships. That's a bit crazy. But where do you hurt somebody like Elon Musk?
Yeah, I
In,
get it.
in his
I
pocket. So, and I mean, now seeing this, now it's looking like politicizing your company is one of the worst things you can do, which is why we see so many companies, even with the whole DEI movement. You know, when DEI is a thing, all the CEOs were going DEI. The DEI is not a thing. Okay, we're pulling away from it. Look at Target. Look at what they're facing in regards to, trying to follow trends and move back and forth. And when your company gets to the point to where it's a political target or surrounded by political issues, it looks like it's never bad news, because Target is hurting right now with the whole, people taking a stance against Target. Now we see this with Tesla, but I don't know. Tesla is just
But
one
that
of those.
shows emotion. That to me, that shows emotion on both sides. Like even the DEI thing.
Yeah,
Like like okay, from a parental standpoint, I get it. I get it. Like certain stuff you don't want pushed on your kids.
mhm.
I totally understand that. I respect that. But in the case of Tesla, though, it's kind of like it should have been bad when everybody was investing in him because of being perceived as a democratic company. Like that
But
doesn't that don't make sense to me. Like it
before
should be.
before this though, we never really associated Tesla with one side of the aisle, or not, or
Yeah, we did.
I never did. It was just Elon until Ben.
Nah, nah. If you pay
I
attention
never
to all
associated
last
Tesla with the
cycle,
political party.
if you I mean you may not, but if you go back last administration, bro, it was like heavy Tesla is Democrat. Even during Trump's first presidency, it was considered a democratically aligned company. So just go back and look at the vibes, look at who was pushing it. It was a lot of democratic people, bro. And I even thought that was weird. And then when you look at a lot of these tech companies, and it's not just Tesla, a lot of these tech companies, their CEOs or their executive leadership are democratically aligned. A lot of them are not necessarily Republican, but they had to kiss the ring.
Well,
So
are they democratically aligned if they all came and kissed the ring? When it seems like
hey,
whoever's in power, that's who we got. All right, we got to
right,
change. We
right.
got to align this way, align
But
that way.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. Ripple's Chris Larson. He's the chairman of Ripple, used to be the CEO before Brad Garlinghouse. He donated like millions of dollars to Kamala Harris. And it was a big uproar in the crypto community, especially if you're from the XRP community. Because it's like, bro, we don't align
Yeah,
with That's what they were saying. We don't align with that. And here you go donating millions of dollars to them. Like we looking at you kind of funny. So I mean, like when you look at these tech companies and even some of these crypto companies can be roped into tech, a lot of them, a lot of them are liberal. They think the same way as liberals. They're liberally aligned, they're democratically aligned. So a lot I mean, just because you see them buddy buddy with Trump, don't mean that they political views changed. They had to kiss the ring. So I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. If it's going to negatively impact your company when you align yourself with Republican values or Republican ways, it should do the same thing on the Democratic side. Like we shouldn't discriminate them.
Well, I feel like it is in a way because it may not necessarily be democratic values, but when I think of democratic values, I think of more of and really it's just a weird dynamic because before the Republicans were all about free speech and being able to, do this and do that. But now you see the Republicans attacking a school like Harvard, for certain things that they don't want talked about, or they're saying that, they are aligning with certain groups or allowing people to speak freely in regards to certain things. So I don't know, man. A lot of things is it's a lot of back and forth.
Well,
But
if you ever was on college campus, which I know you were,
yeah,
what were most of the talking points on those college campuses? What were they aligned with?
Democratic talking point.
Okay, thank you, bro. Thank you. That's
Yeah,
all I gotta say. You did not. You were shunned if you didn't speak that type of tune.
yeah,
They didn't really allow conservative values to be taught or spoken about on campus. You had these random ass people in the middle of the courtyard having all these speeches and stuff, but none of them aligned with conservative values. They all aligned with liberal values, democratic values, and nothing's wrong with that.
uh,
You should be able to speak whichever side you on. Free speech. That's what we all should believe in. But when I vividly remember them conservative church going folks getting ran off campus, bro. Come on, man. Come on. So like when Trump admin talking about even though I don't necessarily agree, but when he's talking about the protection and free speech of Jewish denominated populations,
uh-huh.
I mean, you hearing people talking about free Palestine and stuff like that, which is totally fine. But like the Jewish kid born in America just happens to be from a Jewish family. He ain't got shit to do with that.
My only issue with that, and we kind of getting a little off subject. I'll get back to Tesla
Yeah.
right after this. But my only thing is that if we're gonna be, protect the rights of Jewish Americans or this sector of people or that sector of people, but let's do it all the way across the board because
I agree.
you can't be, oh, you can't speak out against this certain group, but then we look up and you're pulling Black history from books and pulling books off the shelves, and oh, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. I
No,
mean,
I agree. I agree.
so
1000%. No argument. No
yeah,
argument on that.
but
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 I
but
mean, yeah, bro. It should be blanketed. I don't really
yeah,
believe in politicizing companies. That's kind of weird to me in general because what changed from an investment standpoint?
yeah.
Nothing. No
Well,
fundamentals changed.
well, well, some fundamentals did change.
What? That matter. Which ones that matter?
Car sales.
All car sales is down.
Nah. Did you hear those numbers I just told you? 71% net income dropped from the previous year, 66% decline year over year. Let's look at deliveries. Let's take it a step further. Deliveries, Q1, 336,681 vehicles, a 13% decrease compared to Q1 of 2024. The new Model Y, deliveries aren't going as planned. They're having hiccups with that. Automotive revenue, 13.967 billion, down 20% year over year. Operating margin, 2.1% a decline from 5.5% in Q1 2024. 2024. They're missing all the way across the board. That's a strong fundamental shift in your business, especially considering the fact that, yeah, you talk about the robotics and Optimus and all of that kind of stuff, but let's not forget your car company first. Your main bread and butter is selling vehicles. And right now, you're not doing that well.
I want to see a comparison across the entire car market against the other top car sales, specifically EVs.
But you can't compare Tesla to all the other car companies because Tesla
Why not? That
Tesla
would that
Tesla
but that
has
would
been
give me
Tesla has been trading at like 100% multiple. They're not even Tesla is ranked and looked at and viewed in the way that people, judge them. Their standard is not down there with the other car companies. They're up there with tech companies. So when you look at what
yes.
Tesla's been doing, these numbers are lackluster. We haven't seen numbers like this from Tesla since 2021.
If you look at it from you can look at it from two different lenses. I would want to see it compared against car sales of other companies, despite what you said, because then that would let me be able to gauge whether or not these other car companies are closing the gap in the form of selling more EVs, delivering on expectations, things of that nature. On the one hand, on
Uh-huh.
the other hand, look at the whole Max 7. They all took a ass whooping this week.
But look at what Tesla is down percentage base year to date compared to everybody else. There's clearly something wrong. It's not even close. And if we're going to compare them to another car company, we're not going to compare them to traditional car companies. We're going to compare them to a BYD, another top tier EV car manufacturer. We're not going to compare you to Ford or Mercedes or this or that because we don't look at those companies and say, "Oh, EV company." Those companies that we even name may have one, two EVs out of their entire fleet, and they don't even really push them. They have that for a very niche type of buyer. When you're talking about a Tesla, you have to compare them to somebody like a BYD, and
But you would
they get
still be
smacked.
able to see a correlation in even if they don't, or even if they aren't looked at as an EV company, you would still be able to see some level of correlation between a bump in their numbers, especially how small they are, compared to Tesla's drop.
Okay,
Where did where did where
who
did
you want
those
to look
numbers
at?
go?
Who you want to look at?
Who sells an EV? I don't know. Who sells EVs?
I mean, Mercedes sell EVs. Ford has an EV truck.
Anybody that sells an EV, I wanna
Let me
compare
look.
numbers year over year, and then even if it is small, I don't care. I just wanna see where the deviation is.
Bro, I just pulled up Ford. Ford
Mhm.
is up 15.76%. Tesla's
Okay.
down 40 something. Let me pull up
That's
Mercedes.
still one company, though.
Let me pull up let me pull up Mercedes. And then Mercedes-Benz year to date. Mercedes-Benz is up 5.96%.
Okay.
Let's pull up a Toyota.
So, yeah, maybe maybe Tesla do got a problem.
Bro, it's like
Yo.
it may not be the issue with. I mean, I think we can directly correlate the issues they're having with his political affiliations. I think that's fair to say.
Yes, it is, but it's unfair at the same time.
What did you expect? It's politics. It's a dirty game.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I just maybe I wouldn't conduct business that way.
So, what do you think about if the future of Tesla, especially on a short to mid term outlook, next 1 to 3, let's say for the duration of Trump's term, he continues his affiliations, he sticks with Doge. What do you think this means? Because this is his first earnings since really being involved with Trump.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
what you think the outlook could look like if this continues for another quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, a year, 2 years?
I can see this being a nasty year for Tesla for the rest of the year. But I don't think Tesla's going anywhere. So the turnaround is going to have to be somewhere.
With
Don't know
what though?
how.
It's gonna have to be Optimus or the autonomous cab. And when we're
I don't
talking
even
about
see robotic sales being that much of a revenue generator, at least
he's saying
I'm
that
talking about next year. I don't really see robotic sales being that much of their revenue by next year.
he
You gotta think, bro. Who gonna be buying them? Who gonna be buying those?
well, I will say this, the Cybercab is scheduled to, start in June of 2025 in Austin, and production is aimed for 2026. So that could be a catalyst for growth if a lot of, you know, I don't know, cab companies, Uber, Lyft, somebody like that buy a fleet or something like that, or one of those car rental companies. I don't know.
Bro,
I don't.
Uber people who drive Uber about to not have no job. Why if I'm Uber, why do I need the liability? Why not just get one of these autonomous cabs, make sure it's insured, and I'm pretty sure insuring the cab alone, not the driver. I don't need a driver if they're truly autonomous.
So you think that's going to be a catalyst for growth?
For Uber? Yeah, absolutely.
No, for
Because I
Tesla.
want. Oh yeah, well yeah, Tesla for sure. But like Uber, if they do it right, bro, you cut out a big portion of your liability.
But even then, our Tesla used to make more people mad. You all you do is cost people jobs.
Hey, anybody in robotics and that's really pushing it, you gonna cost people jobs, bro. Like that's quite literally what you're aiming to do. You're aiming to replace human capital.
Hey man, all I know is Tesla. You know, I don't know. I'll say this though. I like you said before. I don't think Tesla is dead. I think they have. I think they're in a Apple type of position where you gotta do something, bro. Because BYD is not letting their foot off of Tesla's neck.
Nah, they
Have
got
you
some nice
seen
cars,
their
bro.
cars?
Nah, they got some nice
Have
cars,
you
bro. I'm
seen the
actually kind of salty.
prices?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of salty.
So if I'm looking at that as an American consumer, and let's just be all the way fully honest and transparent. The only reason why Americans aren't buying BYD cars is because it's 100% tariff on them.
Right.
If we could get
And
those over
and,
here,
and I
I'm
I don't
definitely
even
buying one over a Tesla.
right. Right. And that's with anything, bro. Cause like so just a small example, and then we can move on this topic. But like so I'm working with this other dude. He happens to live in Mexico. He was showing me the prices for his Canva Pro subscription. The Canva Pro subscription in America is $15 a month.
Uh,
Why is theirs $5 USD?
that's another issue that China's been exposed.
It's the same program. You just making me subsidize
Hey,
the everybody else.
what that's showing this whole situation with China, especially like what we were talking about earlier with that's just with products like bags and clothes and shoes and all that kind of stuff. China is showing a fundamental flaw in America. Capitalist society has gotten outrageous. That we pay more than everybody else for every little thing. Essentials, they're charging more just because they can. And I think it's gonna
But
get
this
to
is
the
what
point.
Trump been
It's gonna
saying
break.
though. This is
It's gonna
why
break.
bro, this is what he been saying. We subsidize the entire world. They charge us the extra that they can't charge other companies for or other countries for one reason or another. We quite literally subsidize the world in everything.
But are
There
they
are
charging? Or are companies charging?
these companies are charging different prices in different regions, right? So it's not necessarily the country, but these companies, right, are able to charge us more because that's become the norm. In every which way, we subsidize the world. Housing prices are much lower over there over any other country. Cost of overall cost of living. I forget it's been a minute since I've done the research, but I think you can live on 200 US dollars a month in Costa Rica. You know what
Okay.
type of life
Yeah.
you you know what type of life we can
Hey,
have,
but
boy.
if China is saying that, okay, y'all get a lot of tech from us, a lot of y'all goods, a lot of y'all designer goods, clothes, this, and that. We charging this. They charging y'all that. So where is that spike in price coming from? We use Hermes for example. If they saying a Hermes bag costs $1,100 to make, and then by the time Hermes is selling it is 40,000, is it China or is it
Oh no.
Hermes?
No. When I'm saying these companies, I'm talking about Canva. They can
Oh,
get away
Cabo,
with
okay.
they can get away with charging US companies more or US citizens, US residents more for the same product because that's become the norm. That's become the norm to upscale or just upsell
Yeah.
us on whatever. The Hermes bag, bro. There's no way you can justify an Hermes bag being 40 bands. I don't care if it's the name. I
But
don't care.
Well, I don't think you can justify a lot of you can't justify but back in the day when we was growing up, when you heard of $100,000 car, you're talking about a G-Wagon, an Escalade, something extremely, extremely luxury, something a crazy sports car.
Hmm.
Nowadays, they was charging over $100,000 for a Bronco.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
Like, come on.
Fully loaded. Uh, Toyota 4Runner. I'm talking about top trim, like the Trailhawk or some Trail Hunter is the highest on the 4Runner now. You can easily touch 90,000 dollars
And
building that car.
there's
For
nothing
what?
there's nothing luxury about these should be
No,
everyday,
that's
you
an
know.
everyday car. Like, bruh, it's insane. And then don't get me started on the used car market. That's been pissing me off.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's
I
gonna go higher as a result of these tariffs because people don't want people already don't want to buy new cars because you take such a hit on the value and all that, the taxes and all that kind of stuff. So people already turned to used cars to begin with, and now the price of the used cars are going up. So which means dealerships are going to inflate the price of the used car. So it's just,
mhm. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I've been pissed off these last couple weekends because the car market is crazy. I mean, China been doing their thing as far as exposing how these American companies spike the prices like crazy, and then that whole Convo revelation is just like, bro, $5 for the same subscription, bro. Like he
that's
don't get
wild.
nothing less. He don't
Yeah,
get nothing less than I do.
might have to go to
$5.
VPN, man.
Hey,
Hey,
hey, that's what I was. Hey, I was about to say,
hey,
hey, man, screw this, bro. I'm about to get it popping all the time with a
yeah.
VPN.
But
You
to
got me
say
messed up,
let's talk about gold, man, because
bro. We
we've
got
been
to. Yeah,
talking
let's
about
transition.
gold consistently for the last couple of weeks, and gold has been getting a lot of attention, a lot of love. It's hit new all-time high of $3,500. Gold is on fire right now.
Yeah, I just got a feeling it won't be for too much longer.
Well, I mean, it may not be, especially when once we reach equilibrium, things start getting back to normal. I think people will start taking money out of gold and start, being more aggressive and getting into things, especially while things are at these low prices. But as for now, people are going for that safety.
That's
People,
been probably the best play I've had all year.
that's the one, and it's not even behaving like a safety net or a store. It's behaving like a real deal growth
Like that's a
asset.
yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. Nah, like I said, man, that gold play was the best play I've had all year. And people, bro, people gonna realize that gold, that's sound money, bro. Like gold's been here longer than most of the people that's alive today, and it's gonna be here well after.
And it's
That's a
global.
solid asset.
It's globally recognized.
Absolutely, bro. So $3,500 an ounce, man. Honestly, if you're, and this is just my opinion, not financial advice, but as an investor, I wouldn't care what the price of gold was. That's like, don't even think about it like that. Think about it as basically the rate in which gold's been appreciating is the rate in which it's saving you from inflation. So whatever money you got in gold, that's how much you saved yourself inflation wise. That's the way I look at it. Complete all around defensive play. It has a spot in every portfolio, in my opinion.
I wouldn't even say how it's performing right now. I wouldn't even call it. I mean, it's defensive, but that thing on offense.
Right. I mean, it's doing both well. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's doing both quite well because a lot of people they have most of their capital in crypto or equities and stocks and stuff like that. A lot of people they overlook gold. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, gold traditionally has been a defensive play, but right now it's one of the best performing assets that you could possibly have in your
But
portfolio.
it's up 29.3% year to date, bro. That's insane. For
And
year
what's
to-
crazy is I was telling people to buy gold in like 2021, and I guarantee you they ain't listen. I told somebody specifically to put 10 bands in gold back in 2021. I
our
guarantee you he didn't listen.
2021 gold was trading at about 1750, in between 1750 and 2000.
So you would have made damn near 50% on that 10 bands. Hey,
And
and that family member know who I'm talking about. That
hey,
family member know who I'm talking about, bro.
but this is a lesson. People always want to go for the attractive asset, the the Tesla or the Meta or the Palantir or this or that. A lot of times,
Gold ain't sexy, bro.
a lot of time, them sexy assets be the one that get hit the hardest,
Mhm.
and them
And gold
slow
is not
burns.
sexy. Hey, gold is that lunch lady.
Hey, it's sexy right now, though. It looks sexy when you
Hey,
had a couple of them drinks.
oh boy. Hey, the lunch lady then got on the Ozempic. Boy,
Hey,
hey,
life then served you a couple of shots, and now you hey
hey.
go looking good right now,
Oh,
man.
hey, but see, this is a lesson to be had though, right here. Man, you gotta put yourself in position. That's really it. Like you ain't even gotta have no crazy position because now everybody and their mama talking about gold. Now people wanna ask me questions about gold. And it's like, bro, that's the thing. That's the issue. You should have been interested in it when it was not sexy.
Mhm.
Now that it is sexy, that I can't recommend that. I can't say go hop in there real quick
Oh,
because
it's gonna
I
go
think,
down. It's gonna go
yeah,
down.
I think it's gonna correct pretty soon. You know, it got to.
Yeah, it
It's
has
been
to.
running hot for so long. It got to correct a little bit. And that's when I'll probably be deploying more capital into gold. Right now, I'm enjoying my gold position. And like I said, my crypto portfolio ain't been performing the best. Now some assets starting to try and pop off. Gold steady is climbing. It's been holding my stuff together. It's become my anchor for the most part. So I mean, bro, but not only has traditional gold seen an increase in popularity, but tokenized gold has seen an increase in popularity, right? And what is tokenized gold? It's basically the digital representation of gold ounces held in somebody's vault somewhere in like Australia or any of these other big major gold banks, and they issue tokenized versions of it. So they issue digital versions of it. It makes gold a little bit more palatable, a little bit easier to move around, trade
Mhm.
its value. So two main digital gold products that I've been paying attention to is Pax G by Paxos and XAUT by Tether. So just a little information about that, some quick numbers. Pax Gold has seen a 15% increase in growth in terms of circulating supply. We've seen another 20. I think the market cap is like 283 million.
Okay.
So not high, not high, but that's pretty decent.
Okay.
Um, and then I believe they have 244,000 tokens in circulation. So Pax Gold is pretty solid. Right now it's mainly on the Ethereum chain. But there's rumors that we could see some bridging and some other chains supporting Pax Gold. So it's like I said, its popularity has increased. And then in terms of XAUT from Tether, it's seen a 27% increase since the start of the year. Again, gold is about $3,500. I think these two products are trading at a little bit of a premium at 35, 34 and some change. And then in terms of XAUT, its market cap is 823 million, with a circulating supply of 247,000 tokens. So we're seeing a increase in popularity for not just traditional gold, getting hands on that physical gold, but also an increase in popularity on the tokenized version. So definitely an exciting time in terms of RWAs, which is what gold is or tokenized gold is. For those that don't know what an RWA is, it stands for real world asset. So a physical asset that you can find out in the world, and then some company or somebody just tokenized it, made it easier to trade its value. So definitely want to keep my eye on tokenized gold and see how adoption increases and expands, especially to other chains. So definitely some interesting stuff there.
And that could be a good play because it allow people to get the fractional shares until they can get to a full ounce, and then keep going
Right.
that way. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
good
mean, you
play.
ain't got to drop a full 3,500 to start getting exposure to gold. I mean, obviously, even in the physical realm, you can buy grams at a time,
Yeah.
which is what most people do, and it's very easy to do as well. But like you said, from a just in a digital world, some people may prefer the digital version as long as
It's
the
back.
backing
Yeah.
is correct. So
It's convenient.
Pax G and XAUT, for those that might be interested in digital gold product. But moving on, I know we talked about stocks and overall market getting hit, but Wall Street 2.0 is being built right before our eyes. And Ondo Finance is saying that they are the one to do so. I'm bringing up Ondo because I've been doing a lot of research. I've been following Ondo for a minute, since I want to say last year, into last year. Um, Bro, they have, I think their platform to trade tokenized versions of stocks is available. I need to go out there and play around with it, but that's going to be major if so. That can definitely add some value to the stocks and equity world. Don't sleep on that. Ondo Finance specifically has seen a 153% increase in growth. They have a market cap of $2.89 billion, bro, with a
Big bro.
circulating supply of 3.6 billion. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro.
It's good money.
That's some good money. That is some
Huh?
good money. And that's what I mean, if I'm being honest with you, that's what made me want to grab some Ondo tokens. I got a little bit of something in the portfolio now.
What is trading
Not a
at right
big load.
now?
I think it's like at 90 something cents right now. Let me go, let me pull it up real quick. Uh it did start increasing a little bit. Yeah, it's at 92 cents right now.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, the way I'm looking at it, that's at a good level. It just bounced off of a key support level on the weekly, so that's a higher time frame. Definitely a good sign. But that's not financial advice. Do your own research. Make sure that play is right for you. However, from what I'm seeing, hey, that really is Wall Street 2.0. I mean, 2.8, $2.89 billion in market cap, bro. That's not chump change, and I think it's like in the top 30, top 20 almost, and overall tokens in the crypto market space.
Hey man, I
Hey,
get into it.
hey, they get into it.
So
So definitely,
continue.
definitely some interesting statistics there. I'm still gonna keep an eye on Ondo Finance. That's a play that I think will be very interesting in the years to come, especially with Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock. He's basically been kind of advertising that, bro, everything gonna be tokenized. Every equity, every stock, real estate even is going to be tokenized. So don't sleep on some of these legitimate platforms like Ondo Finance looking to be some of the first movers in tokenizing the equity markets and creating a essentially a digital asset version of the Nasdaq or S&P, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Be
That'd be
on the
pretty easy
lookout
to
for that.
do. That'd be pretty easy to do too, because I mean, when you're talking about just shares of a company, it's pretty easy
Hmm.
to digitize that. It
Absolutely,
wouldn't
bro.
really be that big of a shift because right, I mean, you buy it on Fidelity or wherever you buy, it's digital now, so it's not that
The
big of a
biggest
shift.
shift The biggest shift that I think the stock world is not going to get you is going to welcome, but they're not going to be used to it at first. 24/7, 365 trading.
That's gonna be bad for a lot of people, honestly. People be fiending on the weekends, ready to lose some money and trade and
Hey,
do it. I think it's a good idea for people, especially now that I'm getting into trading, to be able to hop on the computer 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and make some money. Hey man, I'm with that.
be done for the day before the day even gets started.
I'm with that.
You know, you
Early
you
bird get the
got
worm.
bruh, you got futures markets coming on chain. You got options markets coming on chain. I mean, when you really look at it, futures and options is the same damn thing.
Yeah,
They just enter trades a little differently. Oh, calls and puts on the option side. You got longs and shorts on the future side. It's quite literally
yeah,
the same
yeah,
thing.
same. Yeah, different
Same
name.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, just different names, same thing. So it'll be interesting to see more and more of these come online. I'm seeing a lot of stable coin plays come online to different chains, whether they're risk managers, risk curators, that type of stuff. Curating these plays for people to participate in. Bro, it's a wonderful time to be on chain. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm looking forward to seeing Wall Street 2.0.
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's really all I had, unless you had some more you want to talk
Um,
about.
Just a quick little tick. I ain't gonna drag it along. But in times of extreme volatility, like we've seen, I will say, especially for newer investors or people that want to be on the safer side of things and not have so much exposure to the volatility, you need to be ETF investing. I think even if you are in individual stocks, you need to be ETF investing. Me personally, I have two separate accounts for stocks. I have one that I invest aggressively in. Like for instance, one of my aggressive portfolio, I just added HIMS and IonQ to. That's my portfolio where I may take a little more risk, may have some speculative stocks in there, some things that are very early, in their growth potential. Whereas I have another portfolio where it's a lot safer. Some BOOs, some SMH, some QQM, ETFs, a lot of, or even if it is an individual stock, it's a company that's been performing very well for a very long time. It's a household name. So for new investors, like I always say before, I think new investors should start with ETFs. It's safer. You get exposure to an entire sector. Like for instance, if we're talking about QQQM, you get exposure to the tech sector. You still have exposure to the downside, but it's not as volatile as if you are in an individual stock. So just want to point that out to people. Don't, like we talked about with gold. Don't always go for you know the most flashy, sexy name or stock. When it runs up, it's good. Of course, individual stocks, you have more upside. You can make a lot more money a lot faster, but you can lose a lot more money just as fast. So be aware of that, man, and be a smart investor, especially if you're long-term investor. You got to have some ETFs in that portfolio. It's only right. So just wanted to put that out there because you spend a lot of time, you know, in this world of investing, and you see a lot of people talk about a lot of individual stocks,
Hmm.
and especially for newer investors coming in, they get swept up in the whirlwind. Oh man, I got it. Tesla's low, or Amazon low. Wow, Palantir, or look at, and they completely forget about ETFs. And I think that's where they should start, me personally, because you're at the end of the day, if you're new, you're investing in these companies and you're doing it strictly based off of the name. I'm sure you haven't looked at any 10Qs, 10Ks. I'm sure you haven't looked at any fundamentals, any financials. You're not following that company for real. You're just, oh, Tesla. Oh, I like Tesla. I think, all right. Oh, I heard somebody say it's at 50, close to 52-week low. All right, let me buy. And you're not aware of anything that's going on, when it comes to the fundamentals of the company, the financials. So ETF investing for my new investors long term, even if you're an experienced investor. If you're experienced, I'm pretty sure I ain't even got to tell you. You already know about ETFs. You already know the power of ETFs, compounding effects, the long term growth. And a lot of these ETFs have been performing amazing over 10, 15, some 20 plus years. So just want to put that out there, man. Don't forget about the
No, that's
ETFs when y'all investing.
yeah, no, that's good game because a lot of people they don't even know where to start. So you got to start somewhere. Um,
VOO, VOO, QQQM.
there
You
you have
cover
it.
it. You cover it.
Super
That's
simple.
everything you need. Go look at the holdings. You cover it.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple. With that being said, man, that's probably it for the pod. So we'll catch you in
Huh?
the next one.
See y'all later, man.
Peace.